That sounds a little bit dramatic, but I was so close to giving up. Like, I was just like, I just don't want to do anything. And that's also when I feel like comparison hit me so much, because everybody that I went to high school with, like, I was seeing them like graduating. They were like, oh yeah, I got a car, I got a job, I got a this, I got a that, I have my apartment, like I'm doing all these things. And I'm like, where am I?
Okay, welcome. Oh my God, y'all. Welcome to Get In Girl.
Hey girl. Hi. Welcome to another episode of the Get In Girl podcast. I told y'all that I was going to be here. And guess who's here? Me. So thank you. You can hold the applause. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is something that I've honestly been seeing a lot of just around, and I feel like the girls are really going through it, y'all. Like, the girls are really going through it. So I just wanted to kind of use this episode, instead of talking about something that I'm personally going through that I feel like is relatable to other people, I want to talk about something that we're pretty much all going through. And if, you looked at the title and it sounds familiar, you might be going through a quarter life crisis. Hey. It is not good, but come sit with me. We're gonna chat. Grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your juice, whatever you want to grab. Grab a glass of wine if you want. Grab a glass of wine, grab your juice, and come sit with me. Let's talk about it. So the first thing that I really want to address is, how can you even tell? Because you might be going through a lot of stuff and you're like, am I in a quarter life crisis? How do you know? Like, how did you figure that out? There's a lot of signs. I feel like, honestly, a quarter life crisis, it's honestly like, if you're like mid 20s ish, like you're in your 20s, like you just feel blah. You just feel like meh. You just feel like nothing is working out. You feel like everybody else is ahead of you. You might be in a relationship, but you're like, is this even really the right relationship for me? Or maybe you're not in a relationship and your parents are like pressuring you to get married. That's usually the age when it starts happening, to be very honest with you. Or maybe you feel like, oh my God, like all your friends are doing so much better than you. Or you feel like, oh my God, like I'm supposed to be at this stage in my life and I'm not. All those feelings, like when you're literally at that quarter point in your life. It happened to me when I was 25. When you're literally at that quarter point in your life and you start to feel maybe your life is not going anywhere, or you start to question all your life choices, you may be in a quarter life crisis. And that is completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. First of all, I want to say that there's so many people going through this, but also the phrase literally was literally coined because it's such a common occurrence. Like, the fact that there's a word for it, y'all, like everybody be hitting that point when you're kind of like 25ish. Like it could have happened to you like earlier or later, but for me it was when I was 25. I'm going to tell you my own story in a little bit. But I feel like that's also the point where a lot of people kind of start to get a little more serious with their lives. Like, that's the point where like, okay, like I'm about to go into my late 20s, which you're still young. Like, even sometimes I feel so old. I'm in my late 20s. I feel so old. But like, in the grand scheme of things, like when you actually talk to people that are in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s and their 60s, like, bro, like there's literally so much more life ahead of you. But that's completely besides the point. So if you feel like, okay, thank you for your little spiel, I'm obviously going through a quarter life crisis, what can I do about it? Before I get there, I always leave you with, how you can work through it this week, how you can really think about it and journal through it and do whatever and really just solve it. Because again, like, it's not just to make you feel better, it's actually to help you like plan out your way to success or to your goals or to whatever. But I had been seeing a lot of that, people just being like, feeling like their life is not going anywhere, or feeling like everybody else is ahead of them, or feeling like all their friends are like getting married and having kids. Yo, I literally have a friend, like I was telling my sister, I'm gonna be in this place, and she's like, oh my God, like which of your friends? I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be in this place because my friend is having a baby. And she was like, hello, like how are one of your friends already having a baby? And that's literally the point of life that we're in. Like, I remember when like I was in high school, I remember being in university and we were the young kids, we were like having fun. And now we're at that point in our lives where people are getting married. People are having children. Yo, I can't even take care of myself. I mean, I can take care of myself, but it's a lot of work. Like trying to coordinate my own life is so much work, y'all. I'm like, okay, I gotta like wake up and I gotta have breakfast. I gotta do my morning routine. I gotta work. I gotta work out. I gotta go grocery shopping. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And then adding a husband and a child. I feel like also because the trajectory of the world has even changed, it just seems more daunting than it probably did to our parents' generations. Because our parents' generations were just like, this is just part of life. Like, this is something that everybody just gets to do. Like, by my age, my mom probably already had like 2-3 kids. I have a cat. I have a cat, y'all. And I can't stand her half the time. My friends say that the reason that I can't stand her is because she's so similar to me, which again, low-key makes sense because she's a Gemini. I put something on Threads which day of like, low-key, my cat being a Gemini has shown me the reason that people don't actually like Geminis. I'm like, you know what, y'all are not too far off. Like, y'all may be onto something. There might be more to the story than meets the eye, because she's a ball of energy. I love her to death, but she's a Gemini. And she exhibits those Gemini tendencies that people tend to question and people tend to dislike. That is all I'm going to say about that. But back to my story. So now at the beginning, I said, okay, like I'm going to tell you how my own quarter life situation went. And for me, it was literally the year that I was 25, like the entire year. It wasn't even like, okay, I think it was after I turned 25, actually. It wasn't even like, okay, like, you know, for a little bit, like leading up to when I turned 25, it was, I turned 25. After I turned 25, like farther into the year, I feel like I'm in a much better space right now. But literally the year that I turned 25, I was still in school. I was in like it was literally like my last term. Like when I turned 25 in May, I was going to be done with school in like December. I guess my last 2 terms. I was going to be done with school in December. Like I was at the finish line. But there was just something about that period, y'all, where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I had been working like 3 jobs to pay for my school. And the feeling of fatigue and just like exhaustion that hit me that year, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And my friend's like, bro, like you're quite literally at the finish line. Like you can't let the devil make you give up when you're looking at the end of the tunnel. Like it's not, don't be like that. Like if not for my friends, I don't know how to have made it through that year, y'all, to be very honest with you. That sounds a little bit dramatic, but I was so close to giving up. Like, I was just like, I just don't want to do anything. And that's also when I feel like comparison hit me so much, because everybody that I went to high school with, like I was seeing them like graduating. They were like, oh yeah, I got a car, I got a job, I got a this, I got a that. I have my apartment, like I'm doing all these things. And I'm like, where am I? I was like, where? Like I knew where I was, but I was like, my life just felt so much farther behind than everybody else's life. Which, thinking back at it, is such a crazy thing to even think about, because like, if they were done with school in like, I don't know, 2022, 2023, and 2024 was when I was finishing in school, how do you expect to be at the same part with them? Which is, I guess, like, that's kind of the whole point. But like, I know the life situation that made me, it wasn't even like I was feeling out of school. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, like I wasn't trying my best. It was just because life was life, and like school for international students is expensive. Like, that's not really something that I can control to a certain degree. But in the moment, I was just like I just felt like everybody else was like posting their graduation photos in their cars and their apartments and like their Pilates classes, and oh, they're traveling today, they're traveling to this place tomorrow. And I was trying to memorize something for statistics. or for the research class that I had in my last semester. I was just like, this is not the life I want to be living, bro. Like, what am I doing with my life? I was questioning my life choices. I was like, maybe if I had, I don't know, started working 3 jobs earlier, maybe if I had, like, just things that do not even make sense. Like, if you actually sit down to think about it, something that I really, really love to do is actually talk back to your inner thoughts. Because sometimes, like, if we're being honest with you, like, your inner thoughts, if you actually examine them, like, if you actually just, like, examine them, it does not always make complete sense. Like, it does not always make complete sense. Because tell me why my inner thoughts were trying to make me feel bad about a situation that, like, I know through and through, like, this is not even something that a lot of people would even do in the first place. And this is something that I'm trying to do. Like, I'm putting in so much work to get this done, and they're still trying to make me feel bad. Like, if you look at it logically, like, if you actually think about it constructively, it doesn't even make any sense. But when you're in the moment, like, other people can tell you that, which is also why it's so important to actually have, like, close friends that know your life story, and close friends that can, like, remind you of how far you've come when you're kind of doubting. It's so important. It's so very important. But that's kind of the story of my own. So, like, yeah, I was still in school. Like, all the people that I went to high school with were done with university. They were getting cars. They were doing this. They were doing this. Somebody had a baby. Like, it was a crazy year. And I just felt like I was so behind. Like, I didn't really feel like working. I wanted to quit my job so bad. Oh my God. The number of times I told my friend, I was like, I think I'm going to quit. Just unprovoked. Like, everything, I'm just like, I think I'm gonna, like, I cannot handle this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. It was also the year I was like, oh my God, like, relationship, blah, 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 blah. Funny enough, that was the year that I actually met my partner. Was it the year I met my partner? It was. That's crazy. Anyway. But the start of the year, I was like, not that I'm getting old, but I was like, I want to be in love. I'm a lover girl. Contrary to popular opinion, I'm a lover girl. So that's the year when I was like, going through the whole, like, relationship, like, oh, I want to be in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. But also my Nigerian parents trying to be like, oh, so when are you getting married? But mind you, and you probably relate to this if you're an immigrant, maybe not just like an immigrant, but my parents, like, when I was like younger, my parents would be like, oh, like, you should stay away from boys. You shouldn't talk to any boy. Like, if I was talking to boys, there was a time I got in trouble, legit got in trouble, so much trouble. That's another story for another day. But there's a time I got in so much trouble because I was talking to a boy. And then, like, they literally were saying that to me my whole life. And then the moment I hit, like, I think it was when I hit like 21, 22, they were like, well, when are you getting married? Like, is there any man in your life? Like, when are you going to introduce us to someone? Like, my grandma was like, oh, I want grandkids. I was like, grandkids? I was like, girl, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you so straight. You need to look in another direction, because grandkids is so far off, y'all. Like, please. Grandkids are so far off. Like, look in another direction. Like, to even start dating, then to now, like, go through the relationship, then get engaged, then get married, then have children. I'm like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you need to be talking to your other grandchildren, because not anytime soon, in this corner, at least. And that was kind of just the year that everything was happening. And then what are kind of like some things that I feel helped me get through that? Or what are some things that I feel can help you also get through that? And the first thing that I want you to remember is that you actually need to acknowledge and come to terms with the fact that your life is your own. I want you to actually let it simmer. Like, just like repeat that to yourself a couple times. Like, your life is your own. Because you know what? The thing about your life is that your life is yours to live. Your life is your own to live. It's not your parents. It's not your partners. It's not even your friends. Your life is yours to live. What Joe Blow down the street is doing, respectfully, it should not concern you. It really should not concern you, because the life that you're living is very different from the life that Joe is living. The life that you're living is different from the life that your parents lived. Your parents have already lived their life. Your friends are living their own lives. Your partner is living his own life. Joe is living his own life. All the people you went to high school with, they're living their own life. Like, everybody's living their own life. So when you come to terms with the fact that, like, this life is your own to live, and so much of your happiness will start the day that you stop looking at other people's lives. Literally just focus on your own life. That's the first thing. Like, if you haven't acknowledged that, you need to sit down, add it to your affirmations. Add it, put it on a sticky note, put it in front of your mirror, put it in your bathroom counter. Whatever you need to just constantly tell yourself, like, my life is my own life to live. My life is different from Nama's life. My life is different from Joe's life. My life is different from my partner's life or my parents' lives. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you need to decide what is actually important to you. That's why the first thing was to know that your life is your own. Because that's when I say decide what's important to you, I did not say decide what's important to your parents, or decide what will make your parents happy, or decide what will make, a man like you, which is, look, that's a conversation for a different day. That's a conversation for a different day. It sounds very cliche, but literally being yourself is the most important thing in a relationship. Like, if you have to conform sounds very interesting. Like, there's going to be compromise, but if you have to change who you are for another person, you need to pack your bags and be going to where you're going to, because that's not the vibes at all. Like, how are you going to spend the rest of your life with somebody that you can't even be yourself around? But again, that's a conversation for another day. The second thing I want you to do, like I said, I want you to decide what is important to you. What is important to me, and I've told this to everybody, even before I started dating, when people ask me, like, oh, like, don't you have a boyfriend? Don't you have a boyfriend? I'm like, no, because look, while I was in school, I wasn't even interested in men, to be very honest. I was interested in men, but like, I wasn't really like looking for anything. I was like, I need to actually focus on what is doing me, because relationships is not really what I'm about right now. Every time, and it would be like, oh, like, don't you have a boyfriend? I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for in my life right now. That's not. So seeing other people in relationships never really used to get to me, because I'm just like, that's not what I want for myself anyway. So like, you can't make me feel bad about something that I don't even want. Like, if I see someone else has a yellow car, like a bright yellow car, I won't look at their car and be like, why does Steve have a yellow car? Like, oh my God, like, that yellow car is so nice. I'm like, bro, you couldn't pay me to take a yellow car. I don't want it. So I can't feel bad about something that I don't even want. And maybe it is something that you want. So that's like, we're going to address that in the later points. But if it's not something that you want, how would you even know whether you want it or not if you haven't decided what's important to you? If marriage is important to you, if you are like prioritizing getting married and having kids, or you are prioritizing like getting a new job and getting a car, whatever you're prioritizing, like, you need to know what is important to you. I need to know what is important to Nama Chakolu, because what is important to Nama is not what might be important to you. But if I don't know what's important to me, it's very easy to compare myself to every shiny thing that passes by, because I'm like, oh my God, everybody else's life looks so good. But maybe my own life looks good too by my own standards. So you need to decide what your own standards are and be very specific. Like, in anything you're doing, in a relationship, in a job, in working out, in like a goal, any goal that you're setting out for, like, you always need to be very specific. The third thing, something that's really, 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 I cannot recommend this enough. I absolutely cannot recommend this enough at all, is my testimony album. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if I saw this somewhere. So if, I don't know, you came up with this before me, I don't know. I've been doing this since I've been doing, you know what? I've been doing this since like 2017, 2016. Like long before I even came to Canada. Not long, but like before I came to Canada, I had a testimony album. And the purpose of the testimony album for me, maybe I'll show it to y'all one day, but like I have like verses on it of, you know, like God will never fail you, like blah, 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 just like encouraging verses on it. And it's literally like a photo album. So you can like put like pictures into it, but in place of pictures, I literally write out, not a letter, but I kind of write out maybe a letter when something tough is happening to me. So when I was trying to come to Canada and things were kind of difficult and it was like a whole process, I literally wrote after the fact. I literally wrote out like, oh my God, like these were all the struggles that I went through. This is how God eventually showed up for me. And this is how everything ended out. And like the scripture that I was believing for that particular thing. And then I put that letter, I put it into the testimony album. Next time when something else is happening, like, oh, when I first moved here and I was trying to find a job and like it wasn't really working out. And then it finally happened, write out all the struggles, write out how you got through it, put it in the thing. So then what this does is that when I'm going through a tough time, maybe I actually need to even go look at that. When I'm going through a tough time, literally just is, you know, when people say like, you need to like check your own record. Like before you approach me with bullshit, you need to check my record. You need to know who you're talking to. So before you approach yourself with bullshit, you need to check your own record. So that's what the testimony album is. It's like, okay, these are all the other things that I've gotten through in my life. So what makes this particular thing I'm going through right now so special? Like what makes you think like I'm not going to get through it if I've literally gotten through every single thing that I faced in the past? And if you do that, like you literally leave yourself speechless because you don't have any arguments because you're literally looking at the evidence of like, okay, these are all the things that I've gone through in the past. Like what evidence is there that I'm not going to get through this one? There's none. There's quite literally, you don't have any proof. Like you don't have any proof. What you do, the proof that you do have is proof of things working out in the past. I cannot overemphasize the importance of the testimony album, y'all. Like y'all really, really need to get yourself a testimony album. Maybe I'll make another video. Let me actually write that down. Maybe I'll make another video on like how, you know, I do mine, like show you mine, but that's a completely separate video. But that's the third thing, having a testimony album. If you don't already have one, take the time to make one, and it'll just keep you so grounded. It'll literally remind you of like when things are not going well. It will literally keep you so grounded. So you can literally go back and check your own record and remind yourself that I've been through this before. I've gone through worse things before. Like this is something that will also pass. And then look, this last one is going to sound very, very cliche. And you know how much I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't like to give y'all bad news, but the people that said gratitude is important, they were correct, y'all. They were onto something. They were correct. Like even the past couple of days or like the past couple of weeks where I've not really been feeling 100%. You know what I realized? Because, you know, I recently just got back on my morning routine and like started doing my affirmations and started doing like my morning journaling. And one of the like prompts that I have for my journal in the morning is GAM. I think I saw it somewhere on Instagram and then I modified it, but it's gratitude, affirmation, manifestation. So I say one thing that I'm grateful for. I say what my affirmation for today is. This is separate from like my big notes of affirmations, or this is just like one thing I want to say for my journal. And then I say one thing that I'm trying to manifest. And literally just the past couple of days that I've gotten back on my morning routine, I've been in such a better headspace than like the past couple of weeks where I feel like I wasn't really on it as much. And literally my morning routine is just waking up, obviously, thank God. That's crazy. My morning routine is like reading my Bible, praying, like saying my affirmations, visualizing, and then doing my morning journal. That's where I do my gratitude. And literally just starting my day out like that, y'all, is so different. Like it's so Like you can see the impact. It's so impactful. It's so like you can immediately see the impact, because literally starting your day and being forced to write down, like it's you can do 3 things you're grateful for. I do 1 thing that I'm grateful for. If there's so much I need to write more than 1, like it's not a gunpoint situation. You can always write more or less, but I do 1 thing, and literally just saying 1 thing I'm grateful for every single day, it actually just forces you to actually think about, okay, you know what? Like there's actually so much stuff to be grateful for. And something else that I started doing this year, I think, was a gratitude jar every week. It's supposed to be a physical jar, but I felt like I was being late on the physical jar, so I just started doing it in my notes, and I've been able to keep up with it a lot more. But the gratitude jar, like every Sunday, I look at my week and I'm like, okay, like what are the things that happened this week that I have to be grateful for? Like that's literally it. Like I just look through my week and I'm like, okay, like on Monday, like this good thing really happened. On Tuesday, this good thing really happened. And just going through like the list of things that I have to be grateful for that week. This is separate from the journal that I do every day. It just reinforces it and just makes you think like, okay, you know what though? Like maybe life is not even that bad. Like even though things are not where I want it to be, even though there's things that I'm still believing for, there's things that I'm still praying for, my life is not that bad, y'all. Like there's people in worse situations. That's another thing to remember. Like there's somebody in a worse situation than you. There's somebody that would want to switch places with you in a heartbeat. It doesn't mean you should not be unhappy, but like just having that mindset of gratitude and reminding yourself like, look, no matter how things are, like no matter how bad things are, like you have the solutions are coming up, like you have things working out for you. You have people that are still there for you. Like you're still alive, like you're not sick. Oh my God, I saw somebody that said, if you feel like you don't have anything to be grateful for, be grateful for the things that you don't have. And that's so powerful, because if, okay, you're like, okay, like I don't have a job, or like I don't have money, or I don't have a good job, or like I'm not fit, or I don't have a partner, I don't have a baby, at least you're not sick. At least you're not in the hospital. At least you're not dead. At least like you're not grieving. Like there's so much stuff that could be happening to you that is not. And I think that alone is so much to even like think about. And that's where I want to leave you. Like I literally want to leave you on that note of gratitude. Always, always, always reach out to me. Come talk to me. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know where you're going through. And I just want to really let you go and remind you that things do get better. Like you are going to look out on the other side and it's going to be amazing. I will see you next Sunday, same time, same place. I love you. Bye.